Have you ever wondered how much climate change has to do with the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters? As we delve into this topic, it's important to understand that the scientific consensus is clear. Climate change is not just about warmer summers or melting ice caps, it's also about the rise in natural disasters. Global warming, driven by human activities, is causing our planet's weather systems to become increasingly volatile. This volatility is translating into more frequent and severe natural disasters. We've seen this firsthand with the recent wildfires in California and Canada, the unprecedented heat waves in the Pacific Northwest, and the devastating floods in Germany and China. Each of these events has a link to the changing climate. Our planet's climate is like a complex machine, and as we continue to emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we're essentially tinkering with this machine's settings, often with disastrous results. The hurricanes are growing fiercer, the wildfires are becoming more destructive, and the floods are growing more severe. Indeed, our world is changing, and it's showing in the disasters we're witnessing. Let's take a closer look at some of the most recent disasters and their connections to climate change. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, these are not just random acts of nature, they are directly linked to the ongoing climate crisis. Take, for example, the wildfires that have been raging across North America. These fires are fueled by hotter, drier conditions that are a direct result of our warming planet. And the impacts are far-reaching. In Canada, a country warming at twice the global average rate, communities in Manitoba and the Northwest Territories have been displaced due to unprecedented flooding. But it's not just Canada. All across the globe, we're seeing the devastating effects of climate change. In the United States, for instance, the affordability crisis in major coastal cities is driving many Americans into regions that are at higher risk of climate-related disasters. As a result, more and more people are moving into areas prone to extreme heat, wildfires, and flooding. And let's not forget about the hurricanes. The Caribbean countries, which are regularly hit by these extreme weather events, are some of the most vulnerable to climate change. These devastating storms are becoming more intense and more frequent, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The reality is, these disasters are not isolated incidents. They are all part of a larger, more complex puzzle. Each piece is interconnected, and each piece is influenced by the changes we are seeing in our climate. From the wildfires in North America to the flooding in Canada and the hurricanes in the Caribbean, these disasters are a stark reminder of the urgent need to address climate change. But as we delve deeper into this climate puzzle, it's important to remember that these disasters are not just numbers and statistics. They represent real people, real communities, and real lives that are being drastically affected by the changing climate. These disasters are not just standalone events, they're pieces of a larger, complex climate puzzle. In response to these climate-induced disasters, financial measures are being put in place. A notable example is the International Capital Market Association's recent introduction of climate-resilient debt clauses. These clauses allow countries that are affected by climate change-driven disasters to freeze their debt payments, providing much-needed financial breathing space. This is especially beneficial for countries frequently facing catastrophes such as flooding and hurricanes. These clauses allow for the deferral of debt payments for up to 2 years, enabling countries to focus their resources on providing aid and support to their affected populations. The hope is that more countries, particularly those that are low-income and developing, will adopt these clauses as they stand to benefit most from this financial relief. The goal is to avoid default during natural catastrophes, a scenario that benefits both the affected countries and their creditors. However, while these measures provide temporary relief, they are not a long-term solution to the climate crisis. It's clear that we can't ignore the link between climate change and natural disasters any longer, so what can we do? Here's where we all play a part. Firstly, we can reduce our carbon footprints. This could mean walking or cycling instead of driving, eating less meat, or simply turning off lights when we leave a room. Next, supporting renewable energy is key. Consider switching to a green energy supplier or investing in solar panels for your home. It's not just about saving money on energy bills, but also contributing to a cleaner and more sustainable world. Finally, advocating for climate policies is crucial. Stay informed about local and national efforts to combat climate change and voice your support for them. This could involve voting for politicians who prioritize climate action, or joining climate marches and demonstrations. And let's not forget about the importance of education. Sharing knowledge about climate change and its effects can help others understand the urgency of the situation and encourage them to join the fight. Remember, every action counts. Together, we can make a difference and help mitigate the impact of climate change on natural disasters.